this video, we're going to be looking at some of the inequalities in vision loss that occur between regions using the IAPB Vision Atlas. So let's firstly go to the Inequality tab, and then let's select Region. So firstly, we can see that 64% of those with vision loss live in South Asia, Southeast Asia, East Asia and Oceania. So these are just two of the GBD or Global Burden of Disease super regions. Now, I guess it's to be expected that a lot of the vision loss in the world is found in these two regions, considering that these regions are home to China and India, both of which have very large populations. However, these two regions are actually only home to just over half of the world's population, not 64%. So that indicates that there is an inequality, and the vision loss is not simply distributed evenly among the world's populations. So the interactive maps are a great way to quickly see and explore differences between regions. So let's go to the magnitude page and then navigate to map and overview. So there are several options for how we can look at and explore this data. So let's start by looking at the GBD super region level, and let's take a look at the numbers affected by vision loss in 2020. So this map shows us visually where there are more people living with vision loss. As we just saw, the two areas that are red are South Asia and Southeast Asia, East Asia and Oceania. These are the two big GBD super regions with lots of vision loss. So again, this is in large part due to the large populations of India and China. But this does not fully account for the high numbers of vision loss in these two regions. So sometimes it can be helpful to see what proportion of people in each region living with vision loss in each region. So we use the crude prevalence for that. So let's select crude prevalence. The legend here on the left, if I can just move my bobblehead. No? Oh, yes. This shows us a colour gradient, which gives us an indication of the regions with the highest prevalence of vision loss. So you can see here the map does really look quite different to the previous map. Although South Asia still is quite red and has an overall crude prevalence of all vision loss at 18.2%, and we still have Southeast Asia, East Asia and the Oceania GBD super region quite high at 17.5%. This super region of Central Europe, Eastern Europe and Central Asia is also has a quite high crude prevalence of total vision loss at 17.3%. So it's really important to point out here that we have selected all vision loss. So this includes all categories of vision loss, blindness, as well as moderate to severe vision impairment, as well as mild vision loss and near vision loss or uncorrected presbyopia. So it would be a good idea perhaps to consider each category of vision loss individually or separately as well. Another thing to consider is that all these regions are likely to be quite different in terms of the age structures of the underlying populations. We are going to see more vision loss in areas where there are more older people. So for that reason, it's also helpful to consider the age standardized prevalence. So when we select age standardized prevalence, the map changes again. So age standardization standardizes the population and works out what the prevalence would be if every region had the same age structure as a global standard. So we can see here that if all the regions in the world had the same age structures, sub-Saharan Africa would have very high rates of vision loss. In fact, if we just consider blindness, sub-Saharan Africa would indeed have the highest rates of blindness globally at 1%. So just flicking back to all vision loss again. The two regions with the highest age standardized rates of vision loss are sub-Saharan Africa at 18.2% and still South Asia at 22.2%. So I really think this does highlight that vision loss is unequally distributed and highlights the real inequalities in vision loss between regions. If you wanted to dive deeper, you could also look at this data at a regional level, so you could navigate to magnitude and then look at the GBD subregion levels. And you could also look at this data at a country level. And again, you could look by the numbers affected, the crude prevalence, or the age standardized prevalence. And it's also possible to view this data for each category of vision loss, as I said, blindness, moderate to severe, mild, or uncorrected presbyopia. And you could also look by genders individually. And you could also view this data, the same type of data, over the years to track progress. And if you would like to download any of these charts, you can just click on the JPEG or the PNG for an image, or a CSV file for a table view.